Greetings, humans. I'm Andy.
And I'm George.
And this is Couscous.
Welcome back to the Windmill full of horses.
A fortress called home.
A fortress that is rather homely.
No, a fortress that is called home. No one mentioned that it is homely.
So you call it home even though it's not home?
That's pretty much what a fortress is.
It's just a fortress, but it isn't home.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in the Middle Ages people's homes were within fortresses.
Yeah, but we're not in the Middle Ages.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so this is the intro to the album A Fortress Called Home, which is called A Fortress Called Home, followed by the opening track, Songs Upon Wine-Stained Tongues, which gets me questioning, I know wine stains a lot, but usually you can't get the stains out of clothing, but I haven't seen it persist on people's tongues.
You haven't seen it persist on their tongues, but it's a metaphor. It persists in their behavior.
Oh.
What this basically means is drunken singing.
I'm betting it's not gonna sound like Ailstorm, though.
No, it's not. It's gonna sound way, way better than Ailstorm.
Probably.
I mean, no.
We got the lyrics open on screen as well. Disclaimer, I already heard it.
friends should have known that you're like me. If you have time, I'd like to hear all about the things you see. The specters in your eyes, the sea breeze in your hair. What dark voyage left you so fully scarred?
They shut me outside in the sky with only my friends who taught me the words of man. I wrote them in melodies and garnered acclaim. I sang for my fortune, for all it was lost. I saw every kingdom but never forgot the one who brought me from silence to serenade.
I want thoughts.
I know. No, I gotta talk about it and entertain people.
You don't gotta entertain people, just entertain me.
Okay, first thought. Fuck you, Jack! What the fuck? There's a lot of guitarists out there. Leave some self-respect for the rest of them. going full ass Temu Montisari on our ass here. Which actually leads me into one of the main thoughts. The way the orchestrals are structured, with the fade-ins and fade-outs, and some of the sample choices, and some of the melody choices, gives me the same sort of epic feeling that I hear in Winter Sun orchestrals. And maybe some of y'all think that comparisons are, not a right way to analyze bands because bands are unique in their own way. And I'm like, I know, they are. Shut up. But you don't know what Winter Sun is to me. That's like the biggest compliment you can make about orchestrals to someone. Did you feel that, or is that just me? This fade at the end with the thunders in the background and stuff like that.
I can totally see how that's a flashback to Storm.
Yes.
But
Winter Sun.
But I don't feel like the orchestration style is similar.
No, I feel like it's if Winter Sun wanted to write nautical themes instead of mountainy themes.
Yeah, and also this has a lot more of a soundtrack vibe, and the other one has a lot more of a sort of... It's a simple way of putting it, but more of an epic Viking vibe, if you will.
Yes.
And mixed with the Asian stuff. So it's not the same. But the way you get to hear layers stacking on top of layers, on top of layers, on top of layers, on top of layers, like, ogres and onions.
Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it.
That's where I see the similarity. What I really like about the orchestrations on this intro and basically on the entire album is how organic it sounds. It almost sounds like it's real instruments.
Yes. Is it not real instruments at all? Like, is none of it real instruments?
Not that I think so. According to my research on Metal Archives, it's all just digital instruments. So the way they compose them and the way they mix them is just chef's kiss.
Yes. I don't know what's with that phrase. I never got kissed by a chef. Seems weird.
It's not about being kissed by a chef.
I know. It's about the gesture when you feel like you got something just right.
Yes.
It was a joke. Chill. Right. The second thought I have is, as much as I like lyrics like the sort of lyrics that Nile have when they say, I will not eat what I detest is feces. We do need more poets in metal.
Yeah.
And right now, this band is holding the standard for all of them, I feel. There are bands that have this more poetic nature to some degree, but nobody's quite there. The chosen motifs, the way they're blended together, like, I know we've got the lyrics in front of me because I'm supposed to try to understand kind of what the song is about, but I'm just like drowned in motifs and like in imagery, right? Like, it's like stepping into a fairy tale, but you're like just stepping into that world. I haven't played the story yet.
I feel like the fortress is basically the symbol of isolation because it says, meet me atop that crumbling cliff, right? It's just this feeling of distance and vastness of like a hermit lost somewhere in the nature and they're being visited by someone after being alone for eons. And then you have kind of this like almost childish energy and passion of like, let me show you stuff, let me show you where I live, but it's all in this aura of most nights I just spiral down.
Yeah.
And it's more a fortress and less of a home.
Yeah.
So it's like, in a sense, you have the joy of like, I have company, but the stories that are shared are all just, here's all my sorrow. Take it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great. I get that. I wanted to point out a few lyrics that I like, and one I was searching for it now on screen.
Will uncork the spirit.
I just found it. But would you like a vista of a starlit town?
Yeah.
You know what that reminded me of?
What?
You remember when we were 10 and our dad got us Super Mario Galaxy for the first time on the Wii? And you enter the first mission and it's like Bowser's coming down with the stuff and stealing the castle with the princess in it. But before that, just walking with the character down that alley through that town. I don't know if you'll find photos of it on Google to include it or anything. That's one of those most, wondrous childish story time moments in my life and just took me back to when I was 10. Right to that.
Wow.
So
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I never associated Seven Spires music with Mario Galaxy.
Yes.
But that's a good association. For me, it's more like getting to see a city from atop a mountain. That big vastness of a view.
Yeah, it also relates to that. And I feel like there are call-outs to stuff in different albums, although I can't really find meaning to them yet. But there's this thing at the end that I like that says, To hell with it all, I love you now and forever.
Yeah.
And that's so cool because like 3 of their albums were like characters desperately struggling through multiple lifetimes to eventually say what they feel and commit to each other.
Yeah.
And that takes more than one life, and now they're like at the beginning of the album, like, fucking commit, goddammit!
Yeah.
Like, we're done with that shit. We grew up a bit.
Yeah.
So, I feel it's not, this is what I like about this album. It's not integrated in the concept anymore, but there's just callbacks to the albums and the stories.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that you can think of the 2 characters in this song as the 2 main characters of the story over the first 3 albums. Okay. Who's the guy? The guy is Alessandro Conti from Twilight Force, who they've been on tour with. Oh. I don't know shit about Twilight Force. They are power metal, and if you're gonna take a shot every time they say dragon, you're gonna die. Okay. And that's everything you need to know about Twilight Force. Okay. Also, they have really, really mad solos. Okay. Kinda like Jack, but, happy instead of sad. Okay. And another few things I wanted to point out in the lyrics is when it says, we'll uncork the spirits of the past and welcome them in.
Yeah.
It's basically getting drunk on stories instead of on wine.
Yeah.
Or sharing stories over wine.
Yes.
Or over hearty soup, as they like to say.
Hearty soup?
Yeah, there was also a line that says stories over hearty soup or something like that. So it just makes this image of like we're sharing some drinks or we're sharing some food or something and we're unraveling stories lost for eons.
Man, nobody gets across this fairy tale-ish sense of wonder like they do. Not even Nightwish. I feel like Nightwish kinda got it with their lyrics on Imaginarium, but even aside from that, now it's all science-y and a little bit preachy, and before that it was all gothy and kinda stereotypical, although they made the stereotype, so credit to that.
Yeah.
But, just this sense of childish fairy tale-ish wonder, like, I can count the bands who do it right on one hand. 1.
Yeah, exactly. I wrote a review to this as well, and I said it in the review, and I'm gonna say it here as well. They have the best lyrics in metal. And I think this album has their best lyrics to date.
I wouldn't say they have my favorite lyrics in metal, but factually speaking, yes, they have the best lyric writing in metal.
And there's one more thing I wanted to show you, where it says, where the guy says, the way was rough, the sea took my life to a decadent hell in eternal night.
Mm-hmm.
With a demon who dealt in souls and granted dreams. Who's that?
Yeah, that's the drummer of Worlds from Emerald Seas album.
I think that's Solveig, because it's the guy saying it. So I think it's where he gets caught in the cabaret, because then it says, it called me darling, gave me its years, I lived on borrowed time with years. With tears.
Yeah.
So
I get it because I know the concept, but you don't because he hasn't given context.
Basically, the debut album is the story of a demon that owns an underworld, and I'm not gonna get into all the other details, but owns this underworld, and a sort of loved soul ends up trapped in that underworld, and they're kind of together there for a while, and there's an unspoken and unrealized connection between them. And then over the stories, they end up reincarnating and finding each other and things like that. It's really wholesome and really cheesy. I love it.
You said owns the underworld, and I'm thinking, does that basically make Solveig a landlord? And are all the souls paying rent? They're kind of paying rent with their souls.
They're paying rent with their souls.
That's a shit way to pay rent. We've been yapping a lot.
This is so good.
Are we done?
Yes. So if you enjoyed this reaction, we'd greatly appreciate the likes and shares. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells.
Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon. Corpse is out. Also, Dovus.
Yeah, Dovus.
Oh my god, Dovus.